All right, hello and welcome back, everybody. Another week down, and your boy caught no racing. So I got a friend on with me this week. What's up, Brandon?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Yeah, this is my buddy Brandon. Want everybody to be introduced to him. All right, if we call you B Mac.
B Mac.
So Brandon is a first-time guest, and so Brandon, where did we meet? You want to tell everybody?
Good old CCO.
That's right. We
Christ Church of Orlando.
Christ Church of Orlando. We go to church together.
Yep.
And Brandon has how old is Nate?
Nate is 3.
Nate is 3. So
Just turned 3.
we have kids about the same age. We got wives that enjoy each other's company. So I'd say we're pretty good friends at this point. I've only
Agreed.
known Brandon for a little bit over a year now, huh?
Yeah.
Probably. All right.
Yeah, just
And
about.
Brandon is he's one of my faithful listeners that gives me very good feedback every week. So
Oh, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you having me too.
dude, I'm happy to have you. I'm glad we can do this. And so you are badly needed this week. I didn't see any racing. I was on a trip over the weekend, and I didn't catch one lap of the race. And you told me that you saw most of it. So
Yep.
I'm excited to hear what you think about the race.
We sure did. Well, good old Nashville racing. Man, Larson, he got out of the groove early, man. He got it way up high. He got tight. He got loose. He got all the way up, almost into the wall. Typical Larson. It was really early in the race, and he didn't qualify well. So really early, he dropped back, and he was just riding around in the back of the pack. For it seemed like all race.
Because he didn't qualify good, right?
No, he was like, if I remember correctly, it was like 22nd or 23rd he qualified.
Yeah, I got that written down actually, so I'll bring that up in a few minutes.
Yeah,
and so that was one of the hot topics, wasn't it, Larson?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Larson struggles, because even though he qualified poorly, everyone had high expectations. It's Larson.
Yeah.
So I was actually pretty shocked too to see him struggle as early as he did.
Yeah. This has been his month. He's been hot. So, yeah, that is a huge talking point. And
yeah, for sure.
We'll revisit that in a few. But
Okay.
before we move too far into this, I got a drink of the night.
Yes, sir.
I know you got a drink of the night.
Yep.
So do you want to share what you're drinking first, and then I'll get into mine?
Sipping on some Bud.
Ooh, Bud Heavy.
Yes, sir.
That tall boy.
Yes, sir.
Good. All right. This one, I didn't even know I still had this in the fridge, but it's an Oktoberfest.
Ah, okay.
From Big Storm Brewing.
Nice.
I'm a big Oktoberfest fan, and it's almost time for them to start brewing those things again. That's how old this is. Probably close to a year old.
Yeah.
So I put it in the little Kozy cane. Oh, snap. I just made a mess. Oh.
It's going everywhere.
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to have to sip this.
Sip her on down. Cheers,
I'll put
brother.
That in the Kozy cane koozie. The
Yes,
old
sir.
school. So, cheers, brother. Let's do this thing. Oh, man, I'm making a mess over here. Yeah, I guess it was old. It doesn't taste as good as they used to.
Yeah, not as fresh.
All right. Gosh, now I got to reset again.
All right, here we go.
My bearing's back. Drink of the night. So yeah, Nashville recap. What I did this week is obviously I'm a big podcast listener. So because I didn't see any of the race, I listened to all of the NASCAR podcasts that have been released so far, like all the big ones anyway.
Yeah.
So I listened to the Teardown. I listened to Denny's podcast. I listened to Kevin Harvick's. I didn't listen to DBC, but when I listened to each of those podcasts, they talked about the main talking points coming out of the Nashville race. So I wanted to bring some of those topics up and see what you have to say about those, since I didn't get to see any of it. Okay. So I guess we will first start with Ryan Blaney finally getting a win.
Right? Finally, bro. He's been due for a win for a long time.
And he finally broke through.
Finally. He got it done. I was super happy to see him finally do it, because I didn't know if he was ever going to get it done with the luck he's had this year.
Yeah.
He's had his ups and his downs, and now he's locked into the playoffs.
Yeah. He's been fast all year. But he's had some misfortune
Yeah.
like I've never seen before. So
Wrong place, wrong time, issues on pit road, technical issues, just all kinds of stuff going on with him.
right. Are you a Blaney fan?
I am.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Um,
He's grown on me.
yeah,
Especially after watching the Netflix special, the Full Speed special, man. He's a good guy too.
yeah, I agree. So real quick, have you watched the entire second season?
I have.
Oh, I have not. I'm
I
like,
binged it. As soon as it came out, I binged it. It's
yeah,
good. Yeah.
that good, huh?
Yeah, I liked it.
All right, good. Well, so Blaney finally gets the win. Like you said, he locked himself into the playoffs already for this year, which takes away a spot that we need one
Yep.
of my Hendrick drivers to get into.
They better start winning.
Yeah, specifically Bowman. Bowman's dropping right now, so we'll touch on that in a few minutes, of course, too. But I think we all knew Blaney was going to get in the playoffs one way or another, though, because that's how
Yeah.
good he's looked all year. But how about the guy that ran second, Carson Hocevar? How was
That
his
was a
run?
surprise.
Yeah,
That was a surprise to me because he spun out Ricky Stenhouse, and Stenhouse had some words for him. He wasn't he said he wasn't going to get into it on camera while after he got out of the infield care center. But he was like, I hope he learns from what he just did because I mean it was definitely Carson's fault. And Carson had a strong car all race. He raced other than that one incident he had. Other than that, to me, I thought it was a pretty clean race for him.
yeah,
He kind of ran mid-pack top 10 all day, so I was actually really surprised to see him move up and be able to snag that second spot.
yeah. Yeah, I was surprised when I was checking my phone often throughout the race to see him at the end of the race be running second because he was doing that in the Coke 600, but he had that engine issue. So
Yep.
to see him come back, what was this, a week later and run up there again,
Again,
he's very impressive in the
he's got
fact
some
that he
speed, man.
finished there.
He's got some speed on him, that's for sure. And it's only a matter of time before he gets his first Cup Series win.
Yeah, yeah, it's coming real soon.
Yeah.
Um, about the incident with Stenhouse, because I could have Googled it and I could have YouTubed it, and I probably will when we're done recording. But what
Yeah.
was that? Were they racing for position, or was Stenhouse like a lap down?
No, they were racing for position
Oh,
because it was a big deal because Ricky was fighting for points too, and
yep.
it knocked him out of the race. So
About where were they on the track? Do you remember?
I want to say top 15.
Okay,
So yeah, I think, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was towards the end of the stage too, and they were moving up, try to get that ninth or 10th spot too.
okay,
So they were trying
yeah.
to
The stage
they were
point.
racing for points. Yeah, they're racing for the stage
Gotcha.
points.
That is big for both of them. All right.
So Stenhouse was saying how he had how he really been having a great season. No wins, but
Yeah,
he's been hanging in there with the points and finishing consistently.
yeah,
So he was pretty ticked off that he got spun out and took out of the race. Honestly,
yeah. And that's that's the reputation that Hocevar is building right now.
he said he don't care neither.
But to be honest, like that's kind of the reputation Stenhouse grew up with as well.
Yeah,
So it's kind of funny that it's biting him in the tail a little bit.
a little bit.
Do you take a side on that, Stenhouse or Hocevar?
Oh no, man, I'm old school. Rubbin's racing.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Rubbin's racing, man. I mean,
Oh, it's fair, right?
Unfortunately, it took him out, but I mean, it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Do you
I mean, I
think?
guess maybe it was a little early for that to happen as well. Maybe they were racing too hard too early. It was still in the beginning of the race, so it was stage two. Mid race, I guess you should say.
Yeah.
But because honestly, man, surprisingly, there was not one single caution other than the stage caution for stage one.
Yeah. Really?
Really.
Wow.
And then stage two took forever, man. They had 4 cautions and they had like 20 laps ran in stage two.
Completely opposite, huh?
Yeah, it was. I was like, man, we're never gonna get through stage two. They keep on wrecking.
Wow. So, and that's coming off of, I don't know if you remember last year's race, but it went to like 5 or 6 overtimes, maybe more
Yeah.
than that.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, I was expecting there to be a crash fest in this one, but okay. Do you think Stenhouse is going to pay him back? Like, was it that bad of a wreck from Hocevar that Stenhouse should pay him back?
No, I mean he spun him out, and honestly, I thought like maybe his car was repairable, but I'm not a NASCAR mechanic, so You know, they know more than I do. But you know, from on TV, the damage didn't look too bad. But you know, they weren't able to. They tried. They brought it to pit road and
Yeah.
tried to fix it, and they sent him back out on a caution laps. But you know, the toe link was bent, and you know they no go.
That toe link is super sensitive with this new car.
Yep.
Dude, any hit to that thing, you're done.
Yep.
All right. Well, good. That's good info. Now I got to go watch it again.
Yeah.
I got to go watch a race recap. So, all right. What were your thoughts on the overall race? Like from beginning to end, was it a good race? Was it a bad race? What you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a good race. Like we spoke about earlier, definitely happy to see Blaney get the checkered flag.
Yeah, true.
But Hamlin, he was dominant, man. He was dominant
Was he?
early. Yeah, man, he led a lot of laps. As did our pole sitter, Briscoe, Chase Briscoe.
Briscoe. He
He
was up.
led a lot of laps. He led a lot of laps in stage one, but at the end of the stage one, Denny came. Excuse me, Denny came in. He took the lead. He won stage one, and he led a lot of stage two. If I'm not mistaken, it was almost all of it.
Yeah.
Yep, he led a lot of laps, and then Blaney. I mean, but Blaney was coming, man. He had a fast car. You know, it didn't matter where he was, man. He was coming. I just had a feeling, man, watching him go around and around and around. He had a fast car. I knew he was coming.
Yeah.
The only way he wasn't going to win that race is if something happened to him again.
Of course. Yeah. Which was
But
probably
Penske was up there. All of Team Penske, sorry, but all of Team Penske, man, they looked really good. Cindric,
even Cindric. Okay.
Logano, everybody, man, they were up there top five. They were all stage two, man. They had fast cars.
Okay. Those were the guys to beat then.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
yep.
Well,
Now Elliott, and Bowman or Byron, sorry, they were up there as well, top 10, top five. You know,
really?
jostling position early as well. Um, so they had fast cars as well. And then Chase, he got caught in some traffic, and he just never really recovered from the traffic.
Man. Story of my life.
Yeah, yeah,
Gosh. All right. Good to know. We're gonna revisit those Hendrick guys in a second. Last question I do got for you though is this was the second race that Prime Video was broadcasting the race for us. There's gonna be
yep.
three more that we still get,
Hmm.
but for this being race number 2, coming off of a big race, the Crown Jewel, this one probably didn't get as much attention, but it wasn't a primetime spot, being 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. So,
Yep.
what was your overall take on the broadcast itself? How did it appear?
I thought it was good. I mean, but again, I'm old school, and them Fox Racing, never gets old to me, or the
Yeah,
Fox Sports. But no, I
yeah,
mean, I thought that Amazon did a pretty good job. Um, to me, I didn't feel like that they were like pre-race. You know how Fox they had their commentators. They were down in the pits and talking and stuff like that. There was a little bit of that, but not as intense as Fox did it.
okay,
But no, I thought that for Prime having their second race, I thought they did a good job.
yeah. Did they do a lot of post race coverage like the week before?
Um,
You know?
to be honest with you, man, that was late.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't stay up for the post race. I
yeah.
saw Blaney win. I was like, it's time to go to
That's good.
bed.
Hey, you got work the next day.
Yeah, we gotta get up and go to work, man.
I hear you, bro. I'm hoping we'll find out more this week too because we have a afternoon start, so
Yeah,
they shouldn't be rushing to get everyone home.
right.
We'll see. I'm a big fan of post race coverage though. Like
Yeah,
the reason that I got so into the NASCAR podcast is because there hasn't been any post race coverage yet.
right,
Like after I'm done watching a race, I want to hear from everybody, know everyone's thoughts. Because we don't get to, you can listen to the driver talk, but you don't get to listen to them think. And they
right.
share a lot of their thoughts after the race. So I'm a huge fan of post race coverage.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get in to our Hendrick boys. I jotted down some notes from this past week. Sorry, my throat is killing me. I should have muted myself. And here I am trying to fix my throat with some beer. I actually caught a little sore throat in Vegas, so this week I've been trying to take it easy. So this is like a lot of talking already for me.
Yeah.
Thank you that you're here. So yeah, I'm gonna go one by one. at each of our 4 drivers from their Nashville race, and let the listeners know how they did, and then I want to know your thoughts on their particular race. Anything you might want to add.
Okay.
So, beginning with our best finisher, William Byron. He started third and he finished fifth. One of the notes I see is that he never finished outside the top 5 in a stage.
Yep.
And so just a really good points day for him. Is that what you
Oh
make
yeah.
of that?
Oh yeah. He was up there all night long. He was doing his thing for sure. I mean, out of all the Hendrick cars, he was definitely the strongest in my opinion. He was I mean, he was just consistent, man. There was no mistakes on it. Pit road, man. He just had a really great weekend, man. He was good.
That's about how he's been this year, like running top 5, leading some laps here and there, but yeah.
We're waiting
Never a
for
bad
that summer. We're waiting for the summer slump. We ain't seen it yet,
right? It, it
which is good.
it's become an expectation, but hopefully we're avoiding that.
Yep, maybe we're getting out of that area.
All right, so our next best finisher was Kyle Larson.
Yep.
Looks like he started 28th. That's what I have written down here. But he worked himself all the way up to 8th place for the finish
Yep.
of the race. But in between, he never got any stage points. And one of the things he said after the race was that it was his happiest 8th place finish ever. Is that how you feel about that race for him?
I mean, I would if I were him. I mean, he was in the back of the pack all night long, and he just fighting clawed his way up there. I mean, there's a reason why you put him in anything, and that guy goes out there and can win in anything.
Yeah.
But no, man, I was really shocked to see him climb all the way back from, especially how we started the race. And the race was, not looking up for him throughout the whole race, honestly. And then, when I seen him up there in the top 10, just slowly but surely climbing back on up there,
Man.
I mean, I'd take A-place finish after the start of the race that he
Yeah,
had.
that's good. 'Cause, yeah, I was checking on my phone, like I said, and I feel like we were pretty far into the race, and he was running 33rd, like one lap down.
Yep.
And at the end of the race, to see he got a top 10 out of it, I was kind of impressed by that. He just always finds a way. But next up, we got Chase Elliott. Another Chase Elliott kind of day is what it looks like to me. He started 11th, and then he finished 6th in the first stage, but then he didn't finish in the top 10 in the second stage, and he finished 15th for the race. Is that what you saw?
Yeah. Like I said, he was running really good, right there with Byron. They were jostling for position. They were battling each other for laps. They were side by side for laps, trying to, up one another. But like I said, I think he had a slow pit stop, and that's how he got, back in traffic. He didn't have any issues. I think it was just a slow stop.
Man,
And, he got put back in traffic and, just really never was able to recover.
gotcha. It's super frustrating right now for Chase fans. Like I'm one of them, and it just feels like he's never going to be able to contend for a win until some changes are made with that team.
That's what they were talking about too during the broadcast, man, because they were like, this team's used to winning, and that's what they're used to coming to tracks and doing is winning races, and that didn't happen in a while now.
Yeah, I don't know what the specific changes need to be, but something has to change because I know it's not him. He's too good.
All
And
of his teammates are running good too.
yeah, and I don't think it's Alan Gustafson, the crew chief, because he's too good of a crew chief. But
Yeah,
maybe it's them not meshing anymore.
it could be.
Connect there. So
Could be.
yeah. Last but not least, Alex Bowman looks like a terrible day for him. Started 24th and then finished 36th.
If I remember correctly, he didn't finish. He was in an accident. He got turned around, spun right up into the wall. Yeah, no, I don't think that he finished the race. I think that
Was that his own fault or someone else?
it was a multi-car crash.
Oh, okay.
I think that he got clipped in the mix of it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, they took it straight to the garage.
Man. That was pretty early in the race.
Stage 2, I want to say.
Do you know how he was doing up until that point?
He wasn't having a great race. He was, mid-pack, back of the pack, and he wasn't a contender for sure.
That's what you get when you run back there.
Yep.
Yep. When you run back there with the scrubs, You become one of them.
Yep, you're gonna get taken out, or you get lucky and you avoid it.
Right. All right. Well, so as a whole, HMS compared to all the other teams, Penske, Gibbs, 2311, Trackhouse, how do you think we did as a team as a whole? Because to me, it only looks like one top five and two top tens. You can count Larson, but it didn't feel like he was a top 10 car all night. Not a lot of laps led, right?
No.
So who did better than us? What other team was better?
I mean, really, the only guy from Gibbs was Denny Hamlin, who was up there.
Okay. And then you
They
said
had
Penske was strong, right?
Penske, man. They were all three of their cars. They were top five at one point,
Okay.
and I mean, Blaney and Logano, they looked the strongest out of the three. But because Logano, he led a couple laps too. He got up there, and because they were talking about it. Here comes Logano. Sure enough, here
Yeah.
came Logano, and he led a couple laps. But him and Blaney battled it out for a few laps. But Blaney, man, he just had the car.
Okay. Well,
So I mean, above Hendrick Motorsports, I would say maybe they were second as a team, but I
yeah.
think Penske was the strongest team for Nashville.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. That's I feel like that's what I've heard a lot in the podcast. I think we've seen a lot of that this year. All three Penske cars have won a race, and if you want to include Josh Berry in that conversation, then you could say all four Penske cars because
Yep.
he's a Penske affiliate. So yeah, they're having a great season right now.
Yep.
Well, anything else you want to add from the race before we move on?
Let's see. Let's just give a little scroll right here. Anything that was kind of jumped out to me.
Yeah, I know you took some notes, so let us know.
I mean, Priest spun in stage 3. Eric Jones, man, he was actually a really big surprise.
I heard
He
he was
had
impressive.
he had a really good car. He had a really good run. And, I mean, his team should be proud of him for the run he had. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it takes everybody, but, definitely, man, he was definitely one I was like, whoa, wow, that's that guy. He's you don't see that name up there very often.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you don't.
Reddick had a flat in stage 2. He had been running top 5 all day. He looked like a contender. Because he won a race last year.
Yeah.
And so I was, I actually took him on, Hard Rock to see if he could get it done again, if he could repeat.
Yeah.
But that's how my luck goes. But
Welcome to the club.
but no, yeah, I mean, Christopher Bell had a spin too, but he recovered very well as well. I was like, oh, there goes Christopher Bell's day shot, and sure enough, he came back out, and he was walking, he was running him down, man. He just came up there and he was coming right through the pack, no problem. I mean, his car looked like that; it wasn't even in a wreck as fast as it was going.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
did he get some damage in that accident?
A little bit, and I was like, well, I mean, if he's able to come back out, he's not going to be a contender, but he was, he was fast.
That's what Denny was saying on his podcast, was that his teammate Bell was in a wreck, got a little bit of damage, and it seemed to like make the car better. He was a madman after that.
Crazy. Yeah, he was coming, man.
That's nuts. I need Bowman to do that as much as he's been wrecking this year.
I know. But no, man, I think that that's obviously we all know who won, and I think those are pretty much the highlights of Nashville.
Okay, good. Well, I appreciate all the info and the recap there. I got some questions I'm going to ask you in just a second, but before we get to that, let me give the listeners a quick rundown of the current standings for our Hendrick drivers, where we are after Nashville. So William Byron is still the points leader. He is the only driver with more than 500 points. He actually has 547 points right now.
Mm-hmm.
Second in the points is Kyle Larson, and he is 48 points back. Chase Elliott is our next driver. He's fifth in the points. He's 105 points back. And then Bowman has slipped all the way to 12th. He is minus 213 points at this moment. So we need to see improvement out of the 48 team, especially.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, I guess it's time for a few questions.
Let's do it.
Like the halfway point of the episode, and so I have 5 questions that I wrote down to ask all the guests that I have on the pod. My wife so far has been the only one to answer these 5 questions, and I gave you a little sneak peek at them, so I'm anticipating some good answers. But this is mid-episode questions for Brandon. Are you ready, sir?
Let's do it.
I feel like I introed that like they were about to be rapid fire, but it's not rapid fire. All right, so yeah, first question, and this is just a chance for all the listeners to get to know you as well as myself. Some of these are straight from me. But how long have you been interested in this sport of NASCAR?
I grew up watching NASCAR. I mean, obviously, we all have the horrid day of Dale Earnhardt passing. But no, man. I mean, I grew up as a kid. My mom was a huge Dale Earnhardt fan. Every Sunday afternoon, NASCAR was on the TV, whether we were watching it or not, it was on in the background.
Yeah,
So, I remember Sundays after church, we'd come home, typically have a meal, and about that time, it's time for some racing.
yeah,
We turn it on and sit there and we'd watch it, and it was just a family thing that we did, on
yeah,
Sundays. We always watched the race on Sundays. Um, so I've been a NASCAR fan since I was a kid, man, and I guess you could say I was born into it.
yeah,
But I've been always just a junior fan. Dale
yeah.
Jr. That's my guy.
Nice. So you're enjoying the Prime broadcast since he's on it, huh?
Oh yeah, he was. It seemed like to me that he was the main commentator too, because it was just I felt like it was all his voice talking, talking, talking. I was like, is there anybody else up there in the booth with you, Dale?
Um, where did you grow up?
Right here, Orlando, Florida, born and
Did you?
raised. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born over there in Winter Park Hospital, and I've been right here, in Seminole County pretty much my whole life. Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, I was born here in Orlando as well, but we quickly moved away. So I don't remember being introduced to NASCAR until we were like in North Carolina or Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia mainly. That's where I have most of my memories from. And but yeah, same like you said. Come home from church, eat some lunch, turn the race on.
Yep.
That was Sunday for you.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, so tell me how much interest you have in Hendrick Motorsports.
Well, being that towards the end of Dale's career, he joined Hendrick Motorsports. I mean, I think I'm in agreement with you that I mean, stats don't lie neither. Numbers tell the truth. They're definitely the best motor racing team in Cup history.
Yep.
So I definitely rank them as the best team to be a part of.
Can't deny the numbers.
No, numbers don't
Yeah.
lie.
Nope. Ball don't lie, baby.
No.
All right, good. So yeah, Junior is kind of the one that got you on board, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it was all. I remember it being all up in the air of who's Dale Jr. going to sign with. He was NASCAR's driver. He was the popular guy.
Yeah.
As is Chase Elliott as of now. But
Right.
he was the guy. Everyone knew who Dale was. Everyone was rooting for Dale. And when he decided to go to Hendrick, and I was like, okay, well, we'll see what he does over there. Unfortunately, he never won a championship, but
Yeah.
he definitely Hendrick for sure.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So then let's bring it to current day. How do you rank the 4 current Hendrick drivers in terms of likability? Like who you like the most, who you like the least out of the 4?
So, in my opinion, just because of the season that Larson is having, he's got to be number 1 as of right now.
Yeah.
I think so.
So you like him the most out of the 4?
Yeah. I mean, the season that he's having, and the way that he's finishing races, and we saw it last week. Battling back from the back and early troubles, and that guy, he's special. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then I would go Byron.
Okay.
Just kind of based on his performance and how he's dealt with the season. He has the one Daytona 500 win.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's hungry for another one. He's up there every single week, battling for top positions.
That's a good team, a good driver right there.
For sure. And then I guess my third and fourth would be Elliott and Bowman.
Okay.
Elliott, he's been consistent, and he's had his ups and his downs, but again, he hasn't found the way to victory lane yet.
Yeah.
And he's been consistent. He's doing good in the stages. He's getting the points he needs to kind of stay right there in the top 5, top 10 of points. But he ain't been able to break through yet. And then Bowman, he's just he's struggling. That team's, they're trying to, fix things and get things right, but nothing seems to be working. Luck's not on their side right now.
Yeah,
They're just kind of, trying to coast by right now, I feel like.
right. I feel like they could be very sneaky if I anticipate and I expect them to make the playoffs, but I feel like that team could be sneaky good if they can just figure out how to put a full race together
Yeah.
and finish.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they haven't won poles this year because they have.
Yeah.
And, they've had fast cars. They've just been, wrong spot, wrong time.
Yeah, I believe in the speed of that team, but man, I just don't believe in them ever being able to get to the third stage completely healthy, a clean car.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, very good. That's your 4 drivers right now for Hendrick. So, who are some of your favorite current drivers from other teams?
So, I mean, there's really only 2 that I kind of pay attention to and I really watch. I like 2311 a lot. I like what they're. I mean, I like what they have going on there. They're a young team. They're a new team. They're trying to make a name for themselves. I like Bubba Wallace. I like watching him. I
Yeah,
like he's a good guy as well. He was on the NASCAR Full Speed and learned a lot about him. And he struggles, but he deals with it well.
yeah,
And he's a really positive, upbeat guy. So I like watching. I'm always on the lookout for that 23 car. What he's doing, where he's running, how's he doing? Did he have problems? And this week he did. He had a speeding penalty on pit road. Early in the race, went a lap down. He battled back, got the lap back, and finished well. But and then for my second driver would be Blaney. I like watching Blaney. I'm always on the lookout for that 12 car, see what he's doing, where he's at. Because if he's right there at the top, 7, he's coming.
yeah, yeah.
So,
He
but
is.
yeah, no, definitely Blaney and Bubba Wallace. I watch out for those guys the most, aside from the Hendrick guys.
I'm cool with that. A bunch of those guys are buddies. Blaney, Chase, and Bubba are all 3 of them are real tight with each other.
Yeah.
And I will say Bubba has impressed me a lot more as of the last year or so.
Well, if I remember, back on like your first or second episode, you said that he could be on the hot seat this year. He's got to
Yeah,
get it
yeah,
together.
yeah. He's done great.
Yep, he
He's
hasn't
done
found a win yet, but he's
right.
ran good.
Yeah, he's a big threat at the super speedways,
Oh yeah.
and then every now and then he'll impress somewhere else. But I would go as far to say is he's ran a lot better than his teammate Tyler Reddick has this year. So
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive for Bubba.
for
Because
sure.
a lot of people have Reddick as a championship contender.
Yep.
We don't ever talk about Bubba as a championship contender. We don't really ever talk about him as a top 8 contender.
Nope.
It's a big deal if he makes it to the second round of the playoffs. So what he's doing right now is really good, really
Yeah.
impressive. And yeah, he's cementing his spot in that seat going
Hmm.
going forward. Lost my train of thought there. Might have had too much Oktoberfest. Last question I got for you. This is a historical question for NASCAR. You look at the history of the sport. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of NASCAR top 4 greatest drivers of all time?
Oh, I mean, you got to go with the king. Good old Richard
Yeah,
Petty. He's. I mean, if he's not on your Mount Rushmore list, then you're not a NASCAR fan.
yeah,
Richard Petty, and then I got to go. With Dale Senior, Intimidator. He's my number 2 on my Mount Rushmore. I mean, then how could you not include JJ Jimmy Johnson in there?
yeah.
He's got to be up there.
7-time champ, just like the other 2.
Yeah, I mean, those guys should be on everybody's Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. Those guys are, all 3 tied for the most championships in NASCAR history, and they were phenomenal drivers. And to see Jimmy Johnson every now and then out there in the car, that's cool to see still.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
then agreed. And then I know he never won a championship. He won a few Daytona 500s. But he's my guy, Dale Jr.
Hey,
He's on my Mount Rushmore.
man,
I know he doesn't have the wins, he doesn't have the championships, but he's my guy.
that's a true fan. That's a good answer. It pains me that Rainbow Warrior himself's not on there, but I get it.
If
Junior,
there are 5 faces on there, he would be my 5th. Jeff Gordon.
I'm gonna look this up real quick because there is a stat that Junior beats Jeff Gordon at every day of the week. Let's see if I can figure out how many most popular driver awards he won. Do you know
I do
how
not.
many, Junior? He won 15 consecutive most popular driver awards.
Wow.
So I don't think Jeff Gordon ever won one time.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
Uh, but he's got that going for him.
Yeah, he does.
There's something to be said to be the most popular driver in the sport. And for a sport that Jeff Gordon was as popular around the world,
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is he's up there. Everybody knows his name. Everybody recognizes his voice on the broadcast now.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, hey, that's a good pick. That's a good personal fan right there. I love it.
That's my guy, man. He's and to see that he has a Xfinity team and he's trying to step his foot in the door in the Cup Series as well. Get a couple drivers going up there. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
To see him race. Now I know that he has some sort of agreement with Hellman's that to pick a race every year, every couple years or something, where he'll race in
Yeah.
the Xfinity Series.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's cool, man. At least get to see him back out there on the track too. That's cool to see him race still.
Right. You know what we need to do is find out which race that's going to be and go to it.
For sure. I know last year it was Bristol.
Yeah.
That he raced at, and he ran good.
Yeah, and I think he's done Martinsville, and he might try to switch it up and go to different tracks.
Man, he needs to get out there back on Daytona 500.
Oh man,
Wouldn't that
see,
be
I don't know
awesome?
if he would at this point.
That would be so cool, man.
It would though. He had his first JRM Cup entry in this past Daytona 500. So
Yeah,
like you were saying, get his own Cup team possibly full time. I would love to see that too.
that'd be awesome.
He's got a great team, and he's so good for the sport. Even now, when he's not driving anymore, he's still just as connected, and he's so valuable to the sport.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sharing all that with us. Some good answers. Hope everyone enjoyed learning a little bit about you. I know I did. And so that will move us into the second half of this episode, where we're going to preview this week's race coming up at Michigan. So what I will do is I'm going to share a lot of numbers, a lot of stats that we have here. In fact, I might try. I'm not going to quiz you, like there's no right or wrong answers, but I might bring up some stats and see if you can figure out who I'm talking about. I figure that might be fun a little bit. But we're going to give, as part of our race preview, what I'll do is I'll give some stats on our drivers at Michigan, and then we'll talk some of the betting lines, and we'll give our predictions before we get on out of here. But I might need a Lucy real quick.
Most definitely need a Lucy.
My last one.
Most definitely need a Lucy.
All right, we good. We packed and loaded. All right. Let's see. I'll start with the organization. Hendrick Motorsports history at Michigan. We've been in 78 races, and in those 78 races, we have 8 wins. Now, that is not the most among all teams. I'm not sure who is. Might need to try and figure that out, because whoever has the most wins cannot be much further ahead of us.
Let's see here.
You got it?
Let me see.
Yeah, work on that. I'll give the rest of the numbers while you look at that. But yeah, and that's Cup Series races too. So 8 wins. We do have 11 poles, which is more than any other team. We have 56 top 5 finishes. We have 112 top 10s. We've led 2,769 laps, which is more than any other organization. But the last win that we had at Michigan was in 2014. Do you know who that was?
Was it not Kyle Larson?
No, he was not with the team in 2014.
True. That is true.
So he was the last current driver from the team to win, but he didn't do it with Hendrick Motorsports. The last time we actually got a win was in 2014 with Jeff Gordon. One of his last wins of his career.
Yeah.
Yep. So did you figure out who has the most?
All right. So you said Hendrick Motorsports had how many?
8.
8. Well, Roush Fenway Racing has the most wins with NASCAR Cup Series at Michigan International Speedway with a total of 14 victories.
14.
Yeah.
They've been killing it.
And now it also says that Ford is the leading manufacturer at the track with 44 wins. Go figure, in Michigan.
Yeah. And I think you'll catch up on that in a few minutes when we make our predictions. I put a lot of Fords in there. But 14 for RFK. That makes me think, Mark Martin, Jeff Burton, Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle probably won at Michigan.
Was Kevin Harvick not with RFK back in the day?
No, he was with Stuart Haas in the 4, and before that he was a 29 with I think that was Childress.
Yep, it was Childress. Yep.
So yeah, he wasn't ever with RFK. Carl Edwards probably got quite a few at Michigan.
Yeah.
With
Well,
RFK.
because Harvick's won a lot of Michigan as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of his best tracks.
Yep.
All right, very good. Thank you for looking that up. We are nowhere near being the leader in wins at that track. We've got a ways to go.
A little bit.
And the fact that we haven't won there since 2014.
That means we're due.
We got to get one.
That means we're due.
All right, so with that being said, we do have 4 very good drivers heading to the track this weekend.
Yep.
So what we'll do is we'll look at them individually. And I'm going to try and go out of order here and see if I'm going to read off the stats of a driver at Michigan and see if you can figure out who it is. So this driver has 16 starts at the track. And in those 16 starts, he's got 3 wins, 2 poles, 7 top 5s, 9 top 10s. He's led 263 laps, and his average finish is a 12.4. Who do you think that is?
Elliott.
No, it's Kyle Larson. And he's got the best stats at this track. This is one of his better tracks.
Yeah, no, he's I feel like every track is his week. It could be his week.
Yeah. Now that I get to do this pod, I say that every week.
Yeah.
What I do take away from that, 3 wins, but again, he doesn't have one since his time started with Hendrick.
Yep.
So that tells me 2 things. Like, he's the one that's going to have to carry the flag this week.
Yep.
But also, our time is near.
Yeah.
If he hasn't done it yet with HMS, then it's got to happen very soon.
Now, I haven't looked at Hard Rock yet, but, I'm sure he's one of the favorites.
Yeah. I'll look this afternoon, so I'll fill you in a few minutes on what those numbers are. All right, so let me read off the next driver. This next driver has 15 starts at Michigan. And in those 15 starts, he's got no wins, no poles, no top 5s. He's got 3 top 10s, and his average finish is 24.3.
It's got to be Bowman.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Not his track.
No, I'm afraid not. He, I don't know what his best finish is, but he doesn't even have a top 5 yet. So
yeah,
that needs to change this week.
We'll see how he qualifies. Maybe we'll run well.
Yeah, that's where it all starts.
Yep.
You're exactly right. It starts with qualifying. And you mentioned earlier in the pod that he's got a couple poles this year. He's got speed. So, yeah, as soon as they unload this week, they need to get right to it.
Yep. Then you figure it out.
What's going to suck, though, is he's going to be part of that first qualifying group. He's got a horrible draw. So I don't even know if he'll qualify top 20.
Yep.
But, all right, let me read the next driver. I think I'm going in order of the amount of starts that they have. So that might give away who this is. But next driver has 14 starts at Michigan. And in those 14 starts, he's got no wins, no poles, 3 top 5s, 10 top 10s. He's led 173 laps, and his average finish is a 10.5, which is the best among all active drivers that have 3 or more starts. Who do you think that is?
All right, this got to be your boy Chase.
It is Chase. Yes. I like most of those stats, but again, it's the wins. The wins have to happen for this team.
Yep. So, they got to figure it out too. They're another team on the Hendrick side of things that are trying to get things right too.
Yeah. Look, I love the guy, and I'm always going to, like, no matter, even if he starts sucking and runs 25th every week, like, I'm going to love him.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's not fun to be a fan of the best out there. Yep. You want to see your driver have difficulty and have a challenge.
Yeah, so it makes it that much more special when he does win.
Yeah. But, like, man, they don't – it's not good enough to just be a 10th place driver. Yep. Like, he's got a great average finish here, but he's got no wins at Michigan.
None.
You race to win. You don't race for second place, so they got to start turning something around.
What did Ricky Bobby say? If you ain't first, you're last.
That's that tugged on the heartstrings. I love some Ricky Bobby quotes.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that leaves one more driver. Go ahead and tell us who that driver is, and I'll give you the stats.
Mr. William Byron.
William Byron. He has 10 starts, and that includes no wins, no poles. He's got 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. He's led 40 laps at this track. I'm just going to have you guess what the average finish is. You want to put a number out there? Average finish for William Byron at Michigan.
15.7.
Bro, you might need to put in a ticket on Hard Rock. 15.2.
Whoa.
Bro, real close.
Whoa.
That was impressive. It's like you read my notes earlier.
I promise I did not.
I will admit to the listeners, he did not see my notes. That was impressive.
Hey, not too bad. 3 for 4, not too bad.
Yeah. All right. So that leads us right into the betting lines. I think that's a great segue. Yeah, let's go ahead and begin. The favorite for this race is none other than the 5-car, Kyle Larson. His odds for this race are plus 525. So that means if you put $1 on him, you can win $5. If you put $10 on him, you can win $52.
Better than no bucks.
Anyway, he is the shortest odds. He's the guy that's supposed to win this week. Who do you think is second best odds? Not Hendrick, but out of the entire field, who do you think is second best?
I don't know, man. I just feel like that. It doesn't matter. Another driver, Hamlin. Wherever he's going, he's up there too, man.
Yeah, he is second best odds.
Okay, that was a good guess.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Hey, you know your stuff, bro.
Yeah.
He is not far behind Larson right now. His odds are plus 550.
Oh, he's right there.
Yeah. So neck and neck for that top spot.
I feel like every time I look at Hard Rock, the week of the race, it's always either Larson or Hamlin right there.
Yep, it is. Yeah, and Blaney's up there, especially now that he won.
Oh yeah,
his odds have even shortened much further. So
for sure.
Yeah, those are the top 3 guys actually.
Blaney's number 3.
Yeah, I don't have his written down, but I'm pretty sure he's like plus 700. So a $10 bet gets you 70.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to be a trend this year. If you win one race, you typically win another one next week. It didn't happen for Ross, but
yeah,
but it did happen for Seabell. It did happen for
Bell and Denny
and Hamlin. Yep.
Did it happen? Has Larson won back to back? I don't think he has.
I don't think he has. I think he like
not 3 wins, but they've been spread out.
Yeah, I think he skipped a week or something like that.
Yeah. That's a good note, bro. That's you're giving away my predictions early, I think.
I promise you, we're not in the same room. I'm not looking at the notes.
Yeah, that's the top 3 odds. Let me go ahead and give you who's 4th best odds. Mm-hmm. William Byron.
Okay.
He is plus 750. And then I'm going to stop right there with all the drivers. Let me give you Elliott and Bowman's odds. Chase Elliott is plus 1,300, which is 7th best odds. And then Bowman is plus 3,000 with 16th best odds in the field. He is dropping each week more and more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That just means you got to put $1 on him because he's going to break through.
Yeah. So before we get into our predictions, I want to end that segment for the betting lines. I feel like I have to say this every week, but I enjoy talking betting and gambling. I will happily and I can confidently say that I'm not addicted to it, even though I just got back from Vegas. And I talk about it a lot, but I don't blow a lot of money. If I did, I would be single. But don't take our word and don't go spend your money on what we say we're going to possibly spend money on.
Don't go give donations to Hard Rock. They got plenty of money.
Yeah. It's funny that conversation was happening just as I'm watching the NBA Finals game. Just started at 8:30. And one of the bets I put some money on tonight, because it's the finals. You got to put money on the finals, right? So the bet that I put money on was Tyrese Halliburton getting the first bucket of the game. And, I lost that bet too. So I
more,
just lose
more,
all the time.
more donations, bro.
Man, they are making a killing off of me.
Same.
Me and my $1 bets.
Yeah.
All right. So a few notables before we make our predictions. Sorry, I left some of these notables out. These are the ones that kind of stand out to me. So Hocevar has to be mentioned.
Yep.
He is plus 1750, which is the lowest I've seen this year for him.
Yeah.
That means people are paying attention. He's about to break through and win, like you said.
He's coming.
He's got the 10th shortest odds in the field.
Yeah.
That means there's only 9 drivers that are expected to win this race before he does, according to Hard Rock.
Yep.
So yeah, he's looking mighty good right now. He's got a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
And then another one that stood out, Eric Jones, like you mentioned earlier. This week he's plus 5,000, which is that's good money. If he somehow breaks through, he's proven that he can break through in the past. He is a winner when he was with Joe Gibbs Racing. He's won in the 43 car. It's just been quite some time since he did so. But now that he's coming off of a great race, like you said, in Nashville, plus 5,000 could be intriguing for someone out there if they want to think about that.
Yep.
That means a $1 bet wins you 50. A $10 bet wins you 500 on him.
Mm-hmm.
So something to consider. And then last is Austin Cindric. He is also plus 5,000 right there with Eric Jones. I got to mention Cindric because, we mentioned it. Penske Racing looks good everywhere they go this year. And we're going to one of those tracks, Michigan, that Ford is good at, Penske's good at. Cindric's already won this season. This could be another chance to win a lot of money on a driver that you just don't expect it to come from.
Yep.
So,
Never know.
I wanted to make sure I mentioned some of those. But let's go ahead and give our predictions, and then we'll skedaddle our way on out of here and watch this NBA game tonight. So we're going to give 3 predictions each. We will both give a Hendrick winner, we'll give a non-Hendrick winner, and then we will give a long shot. And a long shot, I would consider, anywhere plus 2,000 odds, somewhere around like 12th shortest odds in the field or more. So, do you want to start or do you want me to start? We'll give our Hendrick winner first.
How could you not go with Larson?
Yeah, that's exactly who I'm going with.
I don't know how you could, if you're going to put money on somebody to win a race, it's got to be Larson. As far as, not just out of Hendrick Motorsports, out of the entire field. Larson's been that guy. He's got a target on his back. Everyone wants a piece of him, but he's just running away with it.
Yep.
So,
he is him.
Yeah.
Right now he is him.
100%.
And real quick before we move on, because that's exactly who I took as well for the Hendrick winner. It's got to be Larson. Like you said, He's got the best stats here out of our drivers. We need a win at this track. But last week, because of his finish 8th place, that's going to help him get a better qualifying draw than he was going to get if he ran 25th or so.
Yep.
So now that he's got a better qualifying draw, that's going to mean he's going to qualify better at a track that he is very good at. He might be our only hope of beating Ford this week at Michigan.
Yep.
So, all right, we're both on the 5 car this week. How about your non-Hendrick driver?
Well, like we talked about earlier, seems like these wins are coming consecutive. How could he not go with Blaney, man?
You took my list. Oh, man.
Hey, you're in my head, bro. You're in my head.
I love it.
It's good. All good stuff.
Yeah, I got Blaney too, man. How can you not? We've seen the speed out of him all week. Or all year. Sorry, not all week. All year. And, consecutive winners have been happening, so wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yep.
All right, last one, long shot.
All right. I kind of got 2 of them.
Good.
I don't know.
I like that.
I don't know. You spoke about it earlier. Carson Hocevar. He's due. He's he's on the up and up.
Hey, here's one thing. We know he's going to break through. If it's this week, you can say you picked him on my podcast, brother.
Yep.
I would love that for you.
That'd be awesome.
Let's get it.
And then
ride the Dente, right?
Yep. And then I don't know, man. Something about my 2311 guys talking to me. Bubba Wallace, he's due. He's been running strong all year. He ain't got it done yet. Why not get it done this week?
Hey, Bubba's good at tracks where you have to have speed. Michigan seems to be one of those. I mean, I know you have to be technical at all the tracks, but some tracks you can tell you just need speed at. And Michigan is one of those that screams speed.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
all right.
again, I don't even know if you consider Carson, a long shot based on, the odds that Hard Rock's predicting. But
He's right there on the line, I think.
he hasn't. He hasn't won yet. So,
Yeah.
until he wins, he's a long shot to me.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. If you put $10 on him, you win $175. I think you can classify that as a long shot.
Yeah.
That's good money.
For sure.
So, all right, good. My long shot, I'm going to keep it in the Ford family. And it pains me to say this guy's name, but he's Michigan native. So this is a big track for him. I don't know if he's won here in the past, but he's always said that he wants to. So that leads me to believe he hasn't yet. So that tells you he's an older driver, driving for Ford. He drives for his own team that he owns. So it would be even more special for him to win in the 6th car. I'm going to take Brad Keselowski.
He's due too, man.
Yeah, I'm not super confident in him, but they have shown flashes of speed for whatever that's worth.
Yep.
So
for a while there, he was looking good in the Coke Zero 600. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was looking good. He had a strong run there. Again, if I remember correctly, he got crashed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It seems like that's happened to him quite a bit this year too. So he's got a little bit of the Bowman syndrome.
Yep.
All right. Well, good. That's our predictions. That's most of our episode. The last thing I want to say, this might be the most irrelevant stuff you listen to on this episode, but I got to end with restaurant recommendations every week. So me and Brandon both have never been to Michigan. The one thing I've heard about the track is that the infield is a lot more of a party and it's a better experience than you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you happen to be traveling to Michigan, I looked up on Google a couple places that you might want to visit, like restaurant recommendations. I got 3 for you. I always want to say Hooters, but I don't even know if there's a Hooters next to that track. So it's not on the list this week. But I found a place called Jerry's Pub and Restaurant. Sounds amazing. Sounds like beer and burgers to me.
Yeah, beer, burgers, and wings, buddy.
Yeah, dude, that's all I need. There's another place called Harold's Place. Harold's Place.
Harold's got it going on.
I'm not sure if that's his garage or his restaurant. A place that people go to. And then the last one's called Big Boy. And I like the sound of that too.
Is Big Boy not a burger spot?
It might be.
So if I remember correctly, man, back in the day, there was a Big Boy here in Sanford. Yeah. And it was a statue of a big boy holding a burger like this. Oh, yeah. No, I mean it could be the same big boy. I'm not sure, but
dude, maybe. I have no clue. Might do some digging, some research after that.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a burger spot.
Yeah, in that case, I'd be down.
100%.
I'd be down if it was Mexican pizza, if it was, burgers, like you said. Wings always wins me over.
Always. Every single time.
Yeah, bro. All right, well, listen, I think there's only two races this week. Xfinity's off, so there's a truck race. And I don't even know when that truck race is because we don't have an entry in it, so I'm not even concerned about it.
Yep.
But the Cup race is on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and this will be the 3rd race on Prime. So after this week, there will be 2 more races that Prime has, and then I think it's TNT that takes over for or NBC. NBC.
I thought it was TNT.
TNT, maybe.
I thought it was TNT.
You know what? I'm going to figure it out in 2 weeks, but you're probably right. So yeah, that's all we got for this week on the pod. You want to say any parting words, brother?
Nah, man, I appreciate you having me. It was a blast. I know we've been talking about it for a while. I was glad we were able to finally make it happen. And it just so happened to be the week that you were in Vegas. You didn't get to watch anything. So I'm glad that I was able to be a part of it and be on the Zip It Up podcast, man.
I'm glad you were able to do it too. I'm gonna keep taking weeks off so you can come back on and tell me about the race.
We'll do it, man. I'm down. Let's do it, man. I'm all about it, man. This is my first time ever doing anything like this. This is pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Hey, me too. With
Yeah,
rookies.
let's do it, man. And I loved it, man. Thank you for having me again. It was awesome. Had a great time. I was glad I was able to share, some thoughts, and everyone got to know a little bit about my NASCAR background, and
Heck yeah.
hopefully we do it again.
Heck yeah. And we're gonna do it again when Junior gets on there
Yeah,
and he races. We're gonna go to that one.
yeah.
We
Let's
gotta
do
make
it
that happen.
for sure.
But yeah, we will have you back on sometime. I enjoy this. I love not having to listen to myself talk the entire hour or whatever. Dude, thanks for joining again. And folks, I hope we have a good weekend of racing. We got to get our 9th win at Michigan all time. That would be wonderful. And if we don't, you know what? We're still going to come back next week and talk about it. So y'all have a good, safe weekend.
Y'all be safe, man.
Yeah, God bless.
God bless.